Aloha everybody. Welcome to Talk Sunday. Today we're going to do things a little slightly different. I'm going to show you a couple of my older videos. Which we're looking at here is the waterfalls down at Donkey Trails. And got some photos and another little video I'm going to show you. And we're also going to have a great little chat. So I'm using a new software, Streamlabs by OBS. Are using the OBS system. So we're going to have some cool little graphics. If you look at the top left corner of your screen, you'll see a number there. That is the current number of watchers. So there are 49 of y'all currently watching the stream. So welcome and thank you for joining. So let's get down to it. Let's see. Oh goodness, there's so many things I want to talk about. First thing we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about the last Talk Sunday, which I skipped last Sunday because I was working on the new Look at That There video. And okay, I don't know what that noise was. Oh, someone just joined or just subscribed. That's another little graphic that you'll see pop up there. So anyways, last Sunday, what we were talking about, or the previous Sunday, I was talking about how to get away from some drama. So what we're going to do is talk about that drama, where it was, what it was about. I didn't really want to talk about this stuff, but I think I am going to talk about it anyways. So basically what was going on was I was the moderator for a community social media forum. That forum was located on a platform called nextdoor.com, and it was a great forum for the community to share ideas, talk about problems, you know, put alerts out for, you know, crime or accidents or power outages. I mean, it was really wonderful, and it was instrumental in the eruption as far as I'm concerned, because it was utilized to spread information. There was actually many times that new eruptions alerts were put out on the Nextdoor platform before our civil defense even knew about them. So it really was giving us some real-time information. Ooh, mahalo, Apau. Just got a super chat for 20. It says from Sasha the other day. Well, thank you, Sasha. I greatly appreciate that. So anyways, it was great. The platform was great for all that, and things were great, and you know, blah blah blah. But then, after the eruption took place, or excuse me, after the eruption come to an end, the attitude on Nextdoor and even a Facebook group really started to change. There was a lot of division in the neighborhood, a lot of fussing and fighting and bickering going about, and a lot of drama. And you know, I'm of course trying to mediate that as much as possible, which of course made me the enemy, because it got to the point where if your opinion differed from, you know, this other group's opinion, then you were the enemy. And I was actually kicked off of the Facebook group because my opinion was contrary to the popular opinion, and apparently I wasn't welcome there anymore because of that. Now, other people will claim that it was for other reasons, which they can make all the claims that they want, whenever they want, about whatever they want, but the facts are simply facts. And anytime that I engaged in these platforms, that's all I would provide was the facts. But no one apparently wanted to hear those facts. So, ultimately what ended up happening is that there was a lot of accusations about me abusing my authority on the platform, which in my opinion still isn't true, and a lot of other people agreed that I was doing a great job, but the louder voices ultimately won. Sophie is asking, what was the popular opinion? It's about the gate, is ultimately what all the drama is about. It's about the gate. There are a group of people that are dead set on having Leilani subdivision gated, but there's two sections in here, section 1 and section 2. And section 2 is the LCA, Leilani Community Association, and section 1 is independent property owners. We have no association. And So in order for them to put a gate at the top of the neighborhood, there at 130 and Leilani Avenue, they have to have all of Section 1 agreeing to it, and Section 1 don't really want the gate. Well, actually, I'll take that back. There are people in Section 1 that support the gate, and there are people that are, you know, against the gate. And then there are people that don't really care either way. I'm one of those. I could really care either way. But what the association wanted us to do was to join the association in order to get behind the gate. And the offer that they were making was a good offer. I mean, for the most part, it was basically that we sign up for the association, we pay the annual dues, and then in return we would get paved roads, and that we would also be grandfathered in against the CC&R, so we wouldn't have to bring our properties up to the standards of the LCA until we resold the property. And then when we resold the property, it was the new owners would have to bring the property up. And to answer Lila's question, what are we watching? We're watching a lava tube exploration that I did many, many years ago. Sorry about that. I guess I should be narrating some of the video content too. But this is a really cool tube. So enjoy the video while I talk. So anyways, that deal wasn't quite good enough, at least for me. So I made a counter offer, which apparently, I don't know if it ever got proposed to the board of directors for the LCA or not, but the counter offer was, hey, how about this? Instead of us actually joining the association, why don't we create a new covenant where Section 1 supports the gate, and we would accept a one-time assessment to fund the building of the gate and the maintenance and all that good stuff, but we don't have to have the paved roads, we don't want the CC&Rs and all that. And there was a few people in Section 2, the LCA, that liked that idea, but it never went anywhere. So they want to put in a gate, they can put in a gate. If they don't want to put in a gate, then whatever. It's completely up to them at this point. But this was what all the drama was about, is the gate. And of course there were some other issues, which I don't really want to go into here. And I don't really consider it appropriate. I don't like airing dirty laundry, so to speak. But point being, lots and lots of drama, and I decided that it was affecting me, it was affecting my channel, it was affecting the things that I wanted to do, it was affecting my happiness overall, and I decided that enough was enough. Luckily, one individual, which I won't name him, but he knows exactly who he is, decided that when I was no longer welcome on the Facebook group, that what he doesn't realize is he did me a huge favor by kicking me and banning me from the group. I've been banned, not just kicked. I can't even see the group and request to join anymore. So I've been completely blocked, which I thought was overkill, but hey, whatever. Point being is, thank you to who you are. You did me a huge favor. You forced me out of one level of the drama, which was the most healthiest thing you could have ever done. And it also encouraged me to finally decide that I'd had enough of the Nextdoor platform and the drama there. So ultimately, when I was talking in my last Talk Sunday video, that I had a solution to the drama. And the solution was really simple, is I made a choice to put myself into that position, and I took the action of actually getting into that position, which ultimately ended in the results of that being drama and all kinds of other crap. And so I did the exact same thing. Oh, Wendy Lou. Wow, thank you, Wendy. She says, this is for taking us through the lava tube. It looks scary. It is actually a little scary, Wendy, but it is so much fun. Dee, actually from Dee's World's been through here, but she couldn't handle it. She flipped out. So anyways, back to the drama. So basically what I decided to do was exercise the same, equation, choice times action equals results. And I made the choice to, well, no longer participate in the drama and no longer be part of, that situation. So I made the choice to back out. I took the action of literally backing out. And the result is I'm happy again. As I'm sure y'all can all hear by my voice, I am just ecstatic. I am loving life again. I'm enjoying doing my videos again. The live stream is being a really good outlet to help me kind of process some of this stuff and, put it away. And I really got to give, a big thank you, a big mahalo to some of y'all out there that I've been communicating with privately. Your support and your advice has been wonderful. And I just hope through my own experience, that y'all can take something from that and say, hey, you know, if you're not happy, then make a different choice and take a different action and get a different results. It's really just that simple. I mean, it sounds like a magical fix, but it's not. It's just, well, it's the power of choice. It's always been there, and we always have it. And but most people don't exercise it anymore, and that's where the problems are. So that is basically the drama there. I backed out of it. I basically transferred moderator abilities to 5 select individuals, which I chose these 5 individuals specifically because of personality characteristics and what I was hoping that they could bring to the forum. I knew that by choosing these 5 particular people, that either one of 2 outcomes would happen. Either one, they would all find a way to work commonly together and make the Next Door Forum a wonderful place again to be, to share neighborhood information and community support, blah, blah, blah. Or 2, that they would basically start devouring each other and the whole forum would collapse. Now, I don't have any access to this forum because I deactivated my account after I promoted those 5 people to moderator position, and I left. Now, of course, I've gotten some gossip, you know, from a few people that I know in the neighborhood that are still there, and apparently chaos is ensuing. It has become kind of the wild, wild west, and my hopes that they would eventually come together and turn it into more of a utopian type forum where everybody was welcomed and everybody's opinion was valid, even if it did go against the status quo, unfortunately did not manifest itself. It was the latter, the chaos, that manifested itself. But that's their problem. They'll figure it out. They're all adults. There's a lot of intelligent people out there. They're just, I think, suffering from PTSD right now and really can't think very clearly about it. So that's the status of the drama that I am no longer involved with, and that I will no longer be involved with. I've decided when it comes to social media platforms, at least in that respect, I will no longer have anything to do with it. It's why I don't do Facebook in the first place. I know a lot of people have wanted me to you know, get on Facebook and join some of the groups and all that stuff, but and I have joined one of them, but I'm not interacting very much, and I apologize because there's, you know, individuals I'm sure that are watching the stream that realize this, and I apologize for not interacting very much, but I'm just not much of a Facebooking type person. DMX, yes, it is one person against the world there. So that's the drama, that's the story. And I will probably continue to talk more about this as things evolve, because you know what, I think it's time that the rest of the world knew just what type of chaos is actually ensuing in Leilani, because I don't think a lot of people realize just how, you know, and I hate saying this because I don't like talking bad about people, but these people, they're suffering, they're in pain, they're hurting, they're lost, and I get that. But at some point you have to you know, grab your belt loops, pull your pants up and say, enough. I'm not going to be, you know, the victim anymore. I'm not going to suffer anymore. I'm not going to allow myself to do that. But unfortunately, humans like to suffer. They like to be miserable sometimes, and they will continue to do that to themselves. So that was the video for the lava tube. I hope you all enjoyed that. So we're going to move on. We've got you a nice little slideshow here. And this slideshow is a combination of photos. It's what I want to call the destructive beauty slideshow. So it will be alternating between volcano pictures of the eruption and some beautiful, wonderful floral photographs as well. And we'll let that slideshow play for y'all while we have a conversation. So now it's time for the let's talk part. Let's talk story, question and answers. Now I've been kind of monitoring the chat as it's been going by, but I haven't, you know, really been looking at anything specific unless something popped out to me, which of course I replied to, if I tried to anyway. So give me just a moment, enjoy what you're seeing, and let me scan the comments and see if there is anything in there particular that I was asked, and I'll address. I draw sneak out the boys, blah 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 blah. Yeah, I read out loud, so I apologize. Okay. Let's see. Almost to the bottom so far. Nothing really good. Nothing that caught my eye. Alex, that's a good question. He asked about the lava tube video. Were there any bats in there? None that I saw at that time. I do know that we do have Hawaiian bats, but I don't think they're cave dwellers. I think they roost in the trees. But I'm not real sure. I haven't done a lot of research on them. Karen, thank you. Yes, it is great that I found a positive way of handling that issue. That's what I try to do. For every problem, there's a solution, and the solution doesn't have to be complicated or dramatic. But people like making that. Oh, Alice, I've seen another question. Any creepy crawlers in there? There was a couple, I think, spiders that we saw, but really in this particular lava tube, there didn't seem to be very much life at all, which was interesting. And it's an older tube, too. Yeah, Wendy, yeah, those tree roots. That's the root cavern in that lava cave, and those roots are all coming from the ohia trees. Nancy, no, the stress did not help the stop smoking project there. Unfortunately, I'm still smoking. I think the system failed for multiple, or the alternative therapy I failed due to multiple reasons. I think my stress level with all this drama may have been one of them. But we haven't given up. Rebecca was asking, what are the strings in my hands for? Those strings were attached to the flashlights, so that way if you dropped the flashlight and for some reason it shut off, you could still find your flashlight in the dark. Camille, there are very few lava tubes that you can get in that haven't been turned into touristy type places. This was particularly one of them, but now there's laws that've been, and ordinances that's been passed where you're basically not allowed to go into them unless they're ones that have been grandfathered in, and that's to protect them from being destroyed by humans, unfortunately. Are you coming to join the show, Scott?
Hello, everyone.
Scott's passing through on the way out. Camille, you asked, a few chats ago you talked about a new series. What is the status on that? I think you're referring to the Volcano Watch series. If that's the one you're referring to, it is in the works. I'm just trying to kind of put together the format, how I want to present it, what exactly all I want to cover. I want to continue doing the current Volcano updates, with Kilauea and what's going on there, even though there's really not much. But I want to include Mauna Loa in there, but I also want to go through some of the history and present that in the show as well. They're all saying hi, bye, Scott.
Bye.
I have no idea where he's going. Rebecca, thank you. Yeah, the moon in the observatory picture, it's one of my favorites. Dana, yes, he just said he was going to go wash the truck. Wendy, I think of everything. Well, I wouldn't say everything, but I do try to get most of it. What is the white flower? Oh, sorry, Rebecca, I missed that one. It might come back around, but there's a lot of different white flowers. Oh, sorry, just reading the comments again. I keep forgetting that if I stop talking, that y'all stop listening. Denise, yeah, there was the patter of paws running through my office as they went outside. So yeah, so what we're basically looking at here is I've got two screens open. I'm one showing the live stream, which I believe is what y'all are actually seeing, and then of course I'm seeing what's coming up next. And I think what y'all are looking at is one of the volcano pictures. But what you should be seeing now is the pineapple. This is a Maui white pineapple. I actually got these growing out in the backyards. I think if any of y'all's been following Scott's channel, y'all seen the pineapple patch. Anissa Lake, it could have been the gardenia, but it could be one of the other ones I think that's in this slideshow. Because gardenias are all over the island as well. Both Sophia and Sue. Sophia, why not try hypnotism to stop smoking? Because I'm not really good, or I'm not really susceptible to the power of suggestion. Commercials on TVs really drive me crazy because, you know, the subliminal messaging that they put in there, the suggestive messaging, excuse me, and it just drives me crazy. As for Sue, for every cigarette you crave, Scott will make you eat a slab of Spam. You know, that would actually, if that was the consequence, and I was actually forced upon it, it would probably work, because Spam, I'm sorry people, you should not be eating that stuff. You really should just not be eating that. So yeah, and Dale, thank you. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button if you're enjoying my content, including this stream. Lets me know that I'm doing what y'all want, and it is what I want to do. So as long as what I want to do is enjoyed by what y'all want to see, then I think we've got a good formula going. Who was the guy in the white suit on F8? Carla, I'm not sure what you're referring to. I do know that there's an image out there where there are apparently 3 people going up the cinder cone, and from what I've read on that caption, it was 2 rescue workers going up to retrieve a woman in a bathing suit that had fallen. I don't know if that's true or anything like that. But yeah, there's going to be, I got a feeling, quite a few crazy little stories that will pop up as time goes by. Katie, I love that consequence. I'm glad you do, but I would never agree to that at all. Dale, yes, Hawaii does consume more Spam than any other state. It's one of the icons that Hawaii seems to be popular for. I don't have any idea how that even worked, or how it could become such a thing. I just don't get the Spam appeal. I really don't. I mean, if I'm going to want chopped ham, I want actual chopped ham. I don't want Spam. So, but, you know, I really can't fault too many people on the Spam thing, because when I was a kid, my grandmother turned me on to potted meat. And it was, I don't know what kind of meat it was. It just come in these little tiny cans that look like little tiny tuna fish cans. And we used to spread them on saltine crackers, and it was good stuff. But as I grew up, I learned what they were making it out of, and of course I quit eating it simply because of, well, it included parts that I didn't quite want to be eating, and of course all the salt. Lila, my nurse wants to know what time you have. Current Hawaii time is 1:34 p.m. So if you're on the East Coast, add 5 hours to that, and that would be what the time is there. Or, of course, you know, subtract an hour for each time zone, you get closer back moving towards the west. Katie says, thank the U.S. Army. Well, it wouldn't surprise me that that's where it came in. The Spam, that is. Dale, you're brave, but at least you tried. You know, it's one thing my mom always taught me, was that you can't say I don't like something unless you've tried it, and it doesn't matter what it is. So that's one of the little things I use against D and D's world all the time. Is she says, oh, I don't want to do that. And I said, but have you ever tried it? She says, no. I said, well, then how do you know if you ain't gonna like it? So there are some things I've been able to kind of push her into experiencing, but there's other things that she don't want to experience, which is a shame because I think she'd enjoy them. But hey, to each their own. That's right, Kira. The year's about to change for you. The international dateline is approaching fast, isn't it? Wendy, did you hear Griffin barking in the background? Yeah, the mic that I use for this is actually quite sensitive. It does pick up a lot of ambient noise around me. 6:35 here in Vietnam. Ooh, wow. So you've already crossed the international dateline. It's January 1st for you, Camille. Taz, if you're asking me, did I ever have cod liver oil? No, because you've got two words in there that totally turn me off. Cod and liver. I'm not a fish person, and anything liver you can keep, period. Sorry. Dana, if you want to try it by 2020, I suggest you go ahead. But remember, your taste buds are in your own hands. Jan, you can actually still hear them outside. The doors are closed and everything. Lila, you have a great day. Morning, evening, afternoon, whichever one it is for you. And you have a great year too. So Elizabeth asked a few questions back. Do I like Vienna sausages? Elizabeth, actually, okay, I'll admit it. Yes, I kind of do. But I can't eat a lot of them. You know, I'm like maybe 2 or 3 out of the can, and that's it. I'm done. It's one of those foods that, you know, it tastes good the first few bites, but then after that, it just, well, it loses its appeal. Yes, Dale, some of these pictures do look like a distant planet. It's amazing what this eruption did and how it did it, and just what it looks like afterwards. So, which brings me to the next point, my pilot's license. I am back to working on my pilot's license, actively studying for it. I've actually cleared the module in the study course for the sectional maps, the airspace charts. So I do know how to read those now. Now we're moving on to some of the more intricate details of the maps in the course. So I still got probably about another week or 2 of study that I want to do before I actually go take the test. But so far so good. I haven't ran into anything that I didn't understand or weren't able to comprehend, you know, with a little bit of effort. It's not as complicated as it looks. These sectional charts are full of information. I mean, just information everywhere, and I think that has been the hardest part for me, is to learn how to decipher the maps, because there's just so much data packed into small spaces. It's trying to figure out, you know, what this little notation, you know, belongs to. Does it go to this airport? Does it go to that airport? Is it for Class G airspace? You know, is this a tower? And, you know, once you learn the basic, you know, icons and stuff, it's kind of easy to extrapolate, you know, what comments go to what icons and things. There is some teeny island in the Pacific that will be first in, oh, yeah, Jan, there is a tiny, teeny island there. I forget what they call it. Sophia is asking, where does one find this test online? Actually, you cannot find the test online. You can find study course online, and you can find examples online. You can actually go to the FAA website and find, you know, example questions there. But the test is actually administered by a third-party authorized test center, where you basically go in, you pay the fee, they give you the test, they give you a supplement packet, which is basically all the reference maps and figures that you're going to have to refer to answer the questions on the test. And then, so that's handled by a third party. Wendy Loot, drone, a dirty word? I think you mean word. How is drone a dirty word? Kira, yeah, see that here in the U.S. Because of all the drones and some of the issues, with some of the issues, privacy issues, and of course people flying in airspace, they had to enact laws that required people to test, but it's only for commercial use. Actually, if you're going to fly recreational and your drone is under 5 pounds, I believe is the weight, you don't have to register or do anything. But if you use any of the video footage you take from that in a commercial sense, then you're required to have a pilot's license in order to make money off of it. So, it's kind of, I don't understand why they would say, okay, recreational, you can violate everything and cause all kinds of problems, but if you're going to make money off of it, you gotta become a pilot. It doesn't make a little bit of sense. You would think it would be a broad change in authorization. Even if you're going to fly recreational, you still need to know how to fly safely, and you should know airspaces and all that stuff. So, but hey, that's the way the government works here sometimes. Left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. But okay, apparently drone is a dirty word in the UK, as in a cuss word, slang word. I mean, I take it doesn't mean drone as in a autonomous aircraft. And that was by Wendy I'm talking to. Yeah, Sue, there was those drones over in Gatwick Airport stopping flights. And that's one of the reasons why here to fly commercially you have to be you have to be licensed to do so, because you got to know those airspaces. And the airspace thing, around some airports is a little weird. I mean, the bigger airports, it's always enforced the airspace restriction, but in other airports that have operational hours, I learned they shut down at 9. When the tower closes at that airport, all that airspace becomes Class E, Class G combination airspace, which means anyone can fly in it at any time without prior FFA authorization or air traffic control authorization. So I don't know what they're doing over in Gatwick or how that all works over there. But yeah, it's a shame that a drone was able to delay flights like that. But safety first. It's always about safety, especially when you're going to hurl yourself through the air at a couple hundred miles an hour in a pressurized tin can. So yeah, you want to be safe. Okay, Kira, I get it now. So it's because of the mass delay that the drone caused. Well, see, the drone shouldn't be a bad word. It's the person that was flying the drone should be the focus of the community. I don't know what word you want to put, but it's the person that should be focused on, not the device. The device didn't do anything on its own. It was only doing what the pilot was telling it to do. So don't blame the drone, blame the pilot. Yeah, John, that's what I'm learning. I never knew that before. I always thought that the airspace stayed, Class B, Class C, or D, depending on what type of airport it was, whether the airport was running or not. So yeah, so some of these little tiny airports, that don't even have a control tower. Actually, I think if they don't even have a control tower, they're still Class E airspace, 24 hours a day. But I think I've gotten to that part yet in the study. But so I could be wrong. John, yeah, there has been those stories too. People using the laser pointers and shooting them towards planes. You can't do that, man. I mean, you've got planes in the air. You don't play around with that. I mean, we're talking hundreds of lives, and it all depends on the pilot and that machine you're flying through. The EMX, yeah, we were talking about the Gatwick incident. So 2 were arrested for it, but they were released. I don't know what the aviation rules are or laws over in UK are, but over here, you probably get arrested, you get fined, but then you'd be released. It's not like something you're gonna be sent for prison for unless your excursion into controlled airspace caused some type of major accident or something like that. Then, yeah, definitely. Thank you, Donna. I'm glad you're enjoying the slideshow. I've just been kind of like watching it go by and talking. Here's coming up a picture. This is actually a picture of the jabuticaba. Jabuticaba. It's actually a Brazilian fruit tree, and it's considered the Brazilian grape. And you can find them in Southern California all the place. And I believe the picture should be showing now. There's little purple balls hanging on the branches of the tree. That's where the fruit comes in on. It doesn't come at the end of the trees. It comes in at the off the trunk and the branches. And yeah, it's a fruit. It's to me, it tastes like a combination between a grape and a plum. And yes, you can eat them, Dale. They're actually very good. They actually make wine up in Volcano from this fruit. Jabuticaba is what it's called, and it's from Brazil. Gene, don't feel guilty about it. Leilani Avenue is a public road. So if you turn down it and want to go down there, that's completely, your choice. However, there's no parking anywhere, and pulling off on side roads would be, on trespassing on private property. So as long as you keep that in mind, go for it. Yes, Sophia, I do have a jabuticaba in the backyard. Actually, I have 3 of them, but only 2 have bloomed. I think the third one's still too young. Gene, that's a good question. Will it become a major tourist attraction? It is very impressive, and it's one of the cinder cones that are the easiest access to. So, as much as the people down there in Section 2 don't want tourists down there, ultimately it's going to happen. And and I get it. I mean, I would love to have my peace and quiet, which I do have, being up at the upper part of the neighborhood. We're not affected by that tourism that much, so it's easy for me to say this. I know if I was down there, I'd probably be thinking a little bit different. But if I was down there, what I would do is I would find a way to commercialize or monetize my property to allow tourists to come in, so that way it would help my neighbors, to keep them from running all around the neighborhood. If we take control of the situation and take control of the tourist situation and control it, then it won't be such chaos for all the neighbors. It'll be controlled and isolated, and it won't be people running around everywhere. And if the traffic and the people down there are bothering you, then monetize your property in that system, take the money and go move somewhere else. I mean, I know people don't, well, it's my house, I've lived there for 20 years. Right. But as everybody's been saying that, since the eruption happened, Leilani is not the same. It's all changed. So, yeah. So you kind of got to go with the flow in a case like this. When Mother Nature hands you a curveball, then either you got to swing or you step in front of the ball and get hit. Either way, you're going to get to, first base. And, I guess kind of a hard way to get there. But yeah, it's controlled chaos is the only solution, I think, that they're going to have to deal with, or that they're going to be able to use to deal with the tourism. However, a lot of the tour companies are being very respectful. A lot of them, if they don't have permission from a private property owner to go down there, they've been avoiding it. Even some of the helicopters are now avoiding flying over because of this. So the commercial companies are willing to work with the residents if the residents would just be willing to talk about this stuff instead they just say, we want a gate, no tourism. We want a gate, no tourism. And hey, to each their own. Jan, yeah, they do need a controlled viewing area. And I haven't said this publicly, but you know what? At this point, I really don't care that much about certain people's opinions. So I'm going to say this. the association has been trying to get control of Leilani Avenue from the county because Leilani Avenue is a county road, and the only way they're going to be able to gate Leilani Avenue itself is to take control over from the county. However, I don't believe the county is ever going to give up control, because the county knows that tourism is, one of the largest revenue sources for our government. And because we are a tourist state, that's our main, export is tourism, or import, or whatever you want to call it. But that's our main commodity here is tourism. And so it's got to be done right. It's got to be controlled. It's got to be fair. It's got to be reasonable. There's all kinds of things that go into that. But simply being is the county is not going to let access to Fissure 8 go. And they have clear legal access through the county-owned property called Leilani Avenue. So the association getting a gate, I really think, in my opinion, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a politician, but in my opinion, I don't think they're ever going to be able to gate Leilani Avenue itself, no matter what kind of lawsuit they file or anything like that. Oh, and by the way, this picture we're looking at now, that's the crater floor of Halemaumau up at the summit in Volcano's National Park. It doesn't look like that anymore, it's gone. Ooh, and this next picture coming up is a pretty little orchid. So anyways, that's basically that. I don't think they're going to get their gate. I really think that, in 6 months, the county is going to come in with their tourism plan. As I do know that they're working on the museum in Pahoa. I do know they want to put a viewing platform down there by Lava Tree, at the Y, where 130 split, and well, basically where Poiki Road meets 130, or excuse me, not 130, 132, I think it is, the one that goes down by Nana Valley. But anyways, and then they're going to, Strange Hawaii, Jeremiah, hello, Happy New Year to you as well. So I know they want to go down there, but it would only make sense that there'd be multiple stops on that tour. And I do know that they've already signed deals with another tour company to do this stuff. We don't know a lot about it, still being kept kind of hush-hush from what I understand. Could be wrong about that too. I've just been kind of unplugged. But point being, is it would only make sense that yeah, they stop at Lava Tree, then they stop at Fissure 8, then they go down to McKenzie, and then to Poiki. Now that right there would be a circuit tour, and I really do believe that that's what the county has in mind. But we'll see. I think in the next 6 months, by June of 2019, we'll pretty much know how all this is going to work and where it's going to work, and everything will be put in place, and a lot of the drama and the chaos that's going on, I think, will have settled down. So it's just one of those things. So anyways, goodness gracious, we've talked about a lot today, haven't we? Oh, someone's leaving. Good night, Claire. Take care. Anybody else that was leaving that I missed you in the comments, thanks for joining. Looks like Gladys is leaving as well, so good night. I'm just going to go through the comments because I've been running my mouth, just kind of watching them go through, wasn't paying no attention. I'd invite visitors to my property if my view was Fissure 8. Yeah, Sophie, exactly, same with me. If I own property down there that butt up to Fissure 8, absolutely I'd find a way to monetize it, to bring these people in and let them come see, because this is a natural wonder. This is not something that should be hoarded, and kept secret and off in the shadows. This should be opened up and shared with the world. And I know the people down there don't like that idea, and they don't want that. They just want their life to go back to the way it was. And unfortunately, the truth of the matter is that's not going to happen. And the sooner that they realize it, and the sooner they start moving forward, and sooner they start finding a way to well, and I say this word again, monetize it, the better off they will all be, the happier they will all be. Because, in a lot of the drama that I've heard, it all comes down to the money. I've heard this statement so much. Well, these property owners are bringing people down, and they're using our roads and cost the association, money, blah, blah, blah. We should be getting a cut. And I've heard that expression numerous times, that a lot of people would be okay with it if they're getting money from it. But if they're not getting money from it, they don't want it. And, yeah, whatever. John, you have a good night. Take care. Happy flying and stay safe. But again, with the Fissure 8 stuff and Leilani stuff, they'll figure it all out. I'm sure they will. So, okay, enough about that one. Let's talk about y'all. I've got about 10 minutes left in the stream because, I like to try to keep these at about, an hour. So we're now going to basically turn it over to question and answer time. Even though y'all been asking questions, and I've been trying to answer them, I want to basically focus on just y'all. So if you have any questions you want to ask, you now know is the time to do so. Ooh, look at that. That's so pretty. The picture that's coming up here that you're going to be seeing here in a minute, after the lava here, is another flower. And this flower is actually, oh gosh, what kind of cherry is it? It's not a Ming cherry. Brazilian cherry, I think it is. I forget. But this picture is actually of a cherry blossom. And you see, got the bee right there. He's pollinating it. What's most really interesting about this particular cherry blossom is it smells like beef jerky. It smells like, you know, smoked meat. It's amazing. And every time I smell it, it makes me so hungry. So you're right. It's hard for people to accept the new reality and that their lives in the affected area are not the same. And they will never be the same. They're a tourist attraction now. It's as simple as that. You know, and it happens. It's one of the risks of living on the island. You know, at one moment your house could be perfect tropical paradise, peaceful, quiet, beautiful. And then, you know, a few months later, you're the destination for travelers all over the world. Lisa, apparently Jean asked if USGS still present in and around Leilani to study the lava, or is it a closed case? All studied and they have moved on. No, Lisa, actually the USGS does come through on a regular basis, and they're still monitoring the cracks for expansion. They're also taking temperature readings. They're also watching the seismometers and all that good stuff. So no, they're not here every day. At least I don't think they are. I could be wrong about that. But they are still monitoring it throughout the entire rift zone. Maureen asked, have you ever found out who the guy on the container was? Nope. Lava container guy is still a mystery and probably will remain a mystery unless for some reason he happens to see this photo of him on my channel and chimes in and says, hey, that's me. Which, if you're out there and you're watching, say hello. Let us know. Because you became an icon of the eruption, at least on my channel. Dale, no one lost their lives during the eruption. We did have a few people get injured due to, volcanic explosions, throwing rocks at them. We had the one guy in the house that got hit by the lava bomb, broke his leg, almost burnt down the house too. And then, of course, we had the lava boat tour that got hit as well by a lava bomb, but no one died. However, in the shelter that was set up at the Pahoa Community Center, there was at one point during the eruption that an individual took his life. The depression and loss and whatever was just, I guess, too much for him to handle it, and he believed that was his only solution, which I don't believe is a solution, because for every problem there is a solution, and ending your own life is never the solution, because that prevents you from, well, doing anything else. It's the final option, so to speak. Yeah, Kira, it would be nice to know a name besides Container Ship Guy, but hey, we've got the pig house, we got the dog house, we got the container guy, so they're all terms of endearment nonetheless. I heard that people are trespassing the national park during the government shutdown. That's actually a good question. I don't really think they're trespassing. I do know that Volcano's National Park is still open, even though it's basically in the free state. There's a lot of areas closed that you can't get to, like Chain of Crater Road is blocked off, so you can't drive down there, but you can get in and you can go to the crater and take a look at that. And Lava Tree House, or is it Lava Tree House or Volcano House, whichever one that is there in the park, they're still open for business. So yeah, but even at night, with Volcano's National Park, at a certain time, the ticket booth basically shuts down and they just open the gate. So you can go in at night free of charge at any time. Okay, just going over the comments again. Katie, yeah, the guy on the porch that got hit by the lava bomb in the beginning was a little bit nuts. I don't think I would be staying there, but it wasn't even his house. He was actually house watching for the people that evacuated. And he stayed as long as he could. Carol, that's actually a good question. How do you avoid getting that rat lung disease? By being safe. Rat lung is basically a parasitic worm that is carried by, it's actually got 3 hosts in its life, well, 2 hosts in its life cycle, and a third being us that it can infect. It basically is transferred between rats and the snails. The snails carry the parasite in their mucus trail, and rats, of course, walk through it and pick it up, and then it comes out in your urine. So basically, we got to protect our water and our fruits and vegetables. So basically, all fruits and vegetables must be washed very thoroughly to remove, any slime trails from the snails or anything like that may have been deposited. Water catchment treatments or systems must be treated. We use a couple methods. One, we have to pH balance the water. We then have to use some type of sanitizer, which in this case is chlorine, to bring it up to 1 parts per million and maintain 1 parts per million. And also we use a filtration system. They recommend your final filtration system should be at least 2 micron in order to prevent the parasite from being able to pass through if it does survive the chlorination and the UV irradiation. So basically, the catchment works this way. We balance the water chemically to make it pH balanced. To maintain that, we also sanitize it using chlorine to oxidize organic matter. Then we pass it through, in my particular case, 2 filter stage. One is a 10 micron sediment filter, and the other is then a 2 micron charcoal filter, which will pull any odors and the residual chlorine back out of the water. It is then passed through a UV illuminating source, basically use UVB to basically kill any genetics in any type of viruses or bacteria or anything that may have passed through the other process. And then at the sink, it's passed through a ceramic 1 micron filter, both at the sink and at the refrigerator outlets for drinking water. So the water is made perfectly safe, and that's pretty much how we prevent it. Now, there have been people that have gotten infected with the rat lungworm, and they're not quite sure, how they became exposed. Most belief is that it came from actual vegetables that weren't washed properly versus consuming catchment water. So, don't really know, but it's not a death sentence, but it can cause you some very serious problems, and people do die from it. So it's something that we have to take very serious. But as long as you take the proper steps and due diligence, it's pretty much good to go. It's just like anything else. Don't stick something dirty in your mouth. It's as simple as that. Rebecca says, I always wanted to go to Fiji or Tahiti. Yeah, Fiji and Tahiti are a place that I eventually want to get to as well. 25 Psy Girl is saying, how long does lava stay hot for after an eruption? Well, it varies actually. The closer to the surface it is, the quicker it cools. The further down it is, the longer it takes. For example, a lot of the Apau lava that first erupted during the 2018 eruption here in Leilani was Apau lava, and it was actually coming from the 1955 leftover reservoir. Because in 1955 we had a very similar fissure line eruption, and there was a lot of magma that was left behind that stayed down in the reservoir, many miles under Leilani. When this eruption took place, it forced all that old lava out, which was still molten. So that kind of gives you an idea. The further down, the longer it takes. What's up here on the surface, I believe that most of the surface lava that erupted should be relatively cool by now. In some of the thicker areas, it can take 6 months to a year. So it varies. It is all about different factors. Debbie, aloha. Apparently you're just coming into the stream, and we're just about to end too. But that's the way the cookie crumbles on YouTube, is it not? Okay, everybody, I think that pretty much covers it. Unless someone else has a question they want to pop up real quick, I will address it. Okay, Gene is asking, Charles, does getting pilot's license mean that you will build a helipad in your backyard and run helicopter tours from Leyline Estates with your neighbors? No, Gene, that does not what it means. What I'm getting is my drone's pilot's license, which is just a subset of an actual pilot's license. So if there is a helipad, it'll be about maybe 3 feet in diameter, and it would be just for the drone. Dale, now that's a very good question right there. When is the next video? I don't know. Well, this is the next video technically, so the next one after this is going to be sometime between now and next Sunday. Actually, I am working on the next look at that there, number 10, and I'm also doing research on the side for the Volcano Watch series. I think I'm going to maybe skip number 10 for a while on look at that there and focus on the Volcano Watch, because I kind of want to get that going back so we can keep getting current information about what's happening with the volcano and things like that. Even though right now everything is still quiet and there's been no significant changes in deflation or inflation, earthquakes, etc. There's no significant activity, you know, or indicating any type of continuing eruption at this point. So the volcano, in my opinion, is currently sleeping, taking a nap. And this particular eruptive event, I believe, is officially declared over. The overall Kilauea eruption is not over. It's been going on for, you know, many decades, and will continue to go for many more. But I do want to start doing some adventure videos as well. Got some issues to work out with transportation. I'm having some issues with my Jeep, so it's keeping me from not being able to venture so far. Stupid freaking brake calipers again. A year or two ago, I had the right front brake caliper go out, replaced it, everything was fine. Within a week or two, the left one decided to lock up as well, so I replaced it. And everything was great for a year and a half or so. And then after the eruption, the right one started doing the exact same thing, locking up, dragging the wheel, burning up the brake pads, etc., because it just wouldn't, you know, let go. And so I replaced it, and everything's fine. And then a week or two later, the left one started acting up. So now I've got to replace it as well. So I'm actually considering taking it down to the Jeep dealership and saying, hey, look, find this problem, because these calipers should not be going out within 12 months of being replaced. There's something else wrong. Could be some trash in the master cylinder. Could be some degradation of the brake lines, you know, releasing, you know, contaminants into the brake fluid, which cause the calipers to lock up. So there could be a multitude of reasons. So we're gonna maybe have them take a look at that. And once I get that fixed, yes, I will be going everywhere. There are so many places I just want to go, and I know I've been saying this over and over and over, and it's just the logistics. The every day there's something else popping up. Every time, like for the look at that there number 9 video, one of the reasons why it took so long was all the drama and distractions that keeps popping up. Every time I sit down and do a video, somebody needs something, there's some drama, there's something else that I have to give the time to, and I hate it. But got to do what we got to do. So this will probably be my last video for 2018, just so everybody knows, since, you know, that changes tomorrow. And the first video for 2019, is a good question. So maybe I will put up a poll in the community tab on my main page asking the question, which video do you want to see next? Do you want, oh, Dana says a cooking video. So do you want a cooking video? Do you want a Volcano Watch video? Or would you want the next episode of Look at That There, number 10? So I think actually what we'll do is we'll let y'all decide what the first video for 2019 is going to be. And on that note, we're going to bring this live stream to an end. Thank you, everybody that has joined us, and all the comments and questions. Thank you for letting me share some of the inside of the stuff. Again, I apologize for dropping all the drama stuff on you, but I figured, you know, y'all needed to know, y'all would want to know. And now that I have it all cleared up and I'm out of it, I have no problem sharing it. So that will do it, everybody. Again, I hope your 2018 has been a wonderful year, and I hope the next year of 2019 is going to be even more spectacular for you. I know it will be for me. So until next time, everybody, you have an amazing, and I do absolutely amazing morning, afternoon, or evening.